Chaos in as well. Sean, you there? Still connected? Oh, good, good. No, that's awesome. So we're trying to make it work, trying to figure out how to do the in home recording thing, and getting out there, trying to keep the news, keep you guys up on the latest news of what's happening and what our governments are doing at various levels. Uh, some good, some bad, some interesting. Sean, have you been keeping up on any of this stuff? Yeah, no, no, no. It's crazy. Well, actually, it's something funny and something that's probably gonna terrify the listeners of this station. You ever follow like any of those like predicted betting markets? You ever see any of those? So those are like betting markets for like politicians, right? And it kind of tracks, who they think is gonna win, in any given election. And Joe Biden obviously is way up there for the presidential nomination, but Andrew Cuomo in the betting markets is now above Bernie Sanders. Yeah. So yeah, and I checked again. He went up another cent since the other day, so now he's at 8 cents for that. For the betting markets, Joe Biden is kind of slowly declining. He was at 83 cents the other day. He's at 79 cents. Yeah, he actually WYSL posted this on their Facebook page. He gave a couple rough interviews the other day. He's I don't know. He's looking a bit. Have you seen any of those, Sean? Yeah, no. He gave some of these interviews where he's like, oh yeah, I'm still here, hack, and then and he doesn't look well. I'm like, I'm legitimately worried about him. I don't hate Joe Biden. I think he has decades of policy failure under his belt, but like, I wish him well enough. But yeah, that's it's concerning. He doesn't look good. He's doing his usual thing where he kind of like forgets what he's saying midway through his sentence. He got criticized for coughing into his hand instead of into his elbow, like you're supposed to. You're doing the whole do the vampire thing, the Dracula. You're supposed to cough into your elbow. Are you doing that properly, Sean? Are you? Oh, good. Well, cats can't catch coronavirus, so no, don't do that to a cat. It's not very nice. Yeah. But anyhow, yeah. I mean, so that's what's been going on with that. I just thought it was interesting to see that Andrew Cuomo's stock of sorts is on the rise. In part because he's going out and he's doing these press conferences every day, and trying to take strong, bold action. And gosh, people sure do love bold action. Yeah, and that's what we always talk about. Like, politics is unfortunately a lot about like giving the appearance of doing something. And he's sitting out there every day and he reads off the numbers and he says, "All right, where are we now? And what happened yesterday? And what do we need next? And here's something that the U.S. government can do, and here's something that the state can do." And he's doing all this stuff, and he's getting so much love, at least from like actually even from like conservative friends who are like, "Oh gosh, at least he's handling this." And I'm not saying I share that opinion. I'm just saying that that's what I've seen anecdotally from friends, that people are like, "Oh yeah, Andrew Cuomo, he's being a real leader right now." And I'm like, well, I don't know about maybe in some ways it's been good. But yeah, I know but anywho, oh my gosh, Sean, did you see the thing about the hand sanitizers? Right. So Vox did a story on this the other day, and as it turns out, the state isn't actually producing any hand sanitizer itself. Not actually producing a single thing. Big surprise there, right? What it's doing instead is it's just importing hand sanitizer from another vendor, and it's just relabeling it as a New York State product. That's all that's happening. I know, right? Well, and so to me, I'm like, all right, so what we're seeing is like Governor Cuomo isn't actually producing anything of value. This is like a marketing scheme. This is like, like that's hand sanitizer that probably would have gone to other producers, and they would have just labeled it under Purell or whatever the heck it is. And instead what's happening is that Governor Cuomo is just trying to do a PR coup. He hasn't actually produced anything. He's using prison labor, which Andrew Hollister and I have both covered like some of the problems with that. But he's using prison labor. There's these guys who are working 8-hour 10-hour shifts, putting this together, getting the labels on the hand sanitizer. All they're doing is filling in bottles. They slap a New York State label on it, and they're not actually producing anything. And it says it's according to the New York State Department of Corrections, and I'm reading from a Vox article that I just posted in the chat for those of you who are following us online. It says the hand sanitizer itself is being produced by an outside vendor he would not name. The Great Meadow facility is only bottling and labeling it. Neither the New York State Department of Corrections nor the governor's office would respond to repeated questions about why the state would need to use prison labor to bottle the hand sanitizer. Nor did the governor's office respond to questions about Cuomo's pitch that this was a cheaper, more effective option than buying bottled hand sanitizer outright. Probably because it would be bad PR. it's mostly it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. No, I think so too. That's again, all he's doing is diverting resources from elsewhere.
I don't. How is it appropriate to use prison labor like this? I don't get.
Well, again, we need to do something. And the way it was presented to the public is that we are producing hand sanitizer. We can't get hand sanitizer around. Therefore, we're doing something about it. Those prisoners, what else are they doing? Producing license plates that peel off too easily, whatever.
Yeah.
What are they doing? They're helping the state. They're helping us with this crisis. And so that's exactly how this ended up turning out, is that, again, we're not actually producing anything. This is a marketing scheme. And that's what frustrates me about this. Is like, at first I'm like, well, I guess, if there's a need that's being met, I don't like the way this need's being met, but I see why people would think that this is an appropriate action to take. But it's not even that. They're not actually making anything. All they're doing is slapping a label on it. That would have gone somewhere else. That hand sanitizer would have gotten to market somehow. All right, so we'll talk a bit more about this. I named this episode Big Spending. I do want to talk about the unemployment numbers that came out today, and I want to talk about some of the other big spending items that are going through Congress right now. We'll be back on Radio Free New York in just a few minutes.
Okay, the other program feed's open if you want to switch over.
Program feed?
Your business relies on computers and technology.
For the web feed.
Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182.
Okay,
Simple Tech Innovation.
is the program feeding the web now? Okay, let me know what it is. We do have a caller on the line.
Families saving them millions of dollars. It can be stressful choosing the right college, but we're here to help. CA Plus will guide you from college visits to college
Hand
graduation.
sanitizer. His name is Todd from Syracuse.
And family situation is different, and we work to accommodate those specific needs. Call today for a free family meeting, 585-582-1846, or visit collegeassistanceplus.com for more information. College is expensive. College Assistance Plus can help.
A reminder from Abate Monroe County. American bikers aim toward education. Distracted driving is dangerous, so pull over and eat. Don't try to read your mail and newspaper, and stay off your cell phone. Make a mental note to be more alert, making it a habit to expect the unexpected. Remember to look twice, save a life. Train yourself to watch for motorcycles which are harder to see. Join Abate, and your family will be protected with a free $4,000 accident policy. Ride safe, ride free, ride often. Abate. If you ride with us.
What's that?
We'll Abate Monroe County.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was pulling hair out of my head figuring out why he was having issues. That's why I wasn't getting anything else set up.
Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the
No, I was a little frustrated because I had never experienced what was happening with him. I was going through like web settings, antivirus, all that. Okay, so we have Todd from Syracuse. If you would like, coming back from break, I can play that Cuomo piece when he promoted that.
Plus Better Business Bureau rating
Okay, stand by.
doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals. Give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
You're listening to Radio Free New York.
Okay, so now we are problem solvers. State of New York, Empire State, progressive capital of the nation. You're a problem solver. You're price gouging on hand sanitizer and a high demand for hand sanitizer. What do? Distilleries? Yes. Close down bourbon? Never. What else do you do? Make your own hand sanitizer? Can you do that? You should be governed. Open the curtain, please. We are introducing New York State Clean hand sanitizer made conveniently by the state of New York. This is a superior product to products now on the market. The World Health Organization, CDC, all those people suggest 60% alcohol content. Purell, competitor to New York State Clean, 70% alcohol. This is 75% alcohol. It also
You're on.
That's enough of that. We've heard enough of Andrew Cuomo. But yeah, you guys get the picture. I wanted to remind everyone what Andrew Cuomo is saying about producing hand sanitizer. And again, this is all a mirage. This is all ruse. Very frustrating. Now, I think we have a caller on the line. I think we have Todd. Syracuse. Todd, you still with us?
Hey, yes, I'm here.
Todd. What's going on? Welcome to Radio Free New York.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to put out there that, the reason that New York State is doing this is because they normally bottle regular chemicals that they sell off and to other, places in, in the state. The same way they produce like furniture and stuff. I think it's like just money shuffling from one agency to another. But the reason they're doing the hand sanitizer is they get the raw materials for that, and all they do is bottle it.
Yeah.
I mean, but they do mix the chemicals.
So they do mix the chemicals in the plant. So you're familiar with this process then, Todd?
Yes, a little bit.
Tell us more about it, because I'd be curious, because I read the article about this and I'm like, man, it kind of just sounds like it's a marketing ploy.
Yeah, they didn't hit it on the head really good as far as the article was, but I mean, I'm looking at Vice, so what can you expect? I do, I know that they produce a lot of the chemicals, and like they sell them to schools and other places for New York State. Oddly enough, they do not use the hand sanitizer within correctional facilities, so I just find that odd.
Right. Yeah. Because it's made of alcohol, right? It's a contraband item.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Yeah. No, I really appreciate you calling in and having insight on this, Todd. Because I know, the Department of Corrections, whatever, I forget what the name of the company is. They do produce other chemicals and they do other stuff. So you're saying that this is providing a value-added service for the state?
As much as it can.
As much as it can. Okay. No. Great. Todd, I really appreciate you calling in and giving that perspective, because I was happy to keep bashing Cuomo, and I'll need to look into this more. I don't want to be perpetuating fake news or misleading stories. So I really appreciate you calling in and giving us that point of view.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, take care, Dad. Sean, you still with us? Oh no, did we lose Sean again? Oh, I might be on my own, guys. All right, that is what it is. But thanks again, Todd, for calling in to Radio Free New York, and thanks again to everyone out there listening today here on WYSL, where we're doing a live show 12 to 1, or a rebroadcast on WENY or WACK. Thanks again for joining us, and our live feeds on Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff. I see Garrett's in. Hey, Garrett, and thanks again for supporting the show. Nick, I see you're in. Calling Cuomo a salesperson. Again, I think that Todd's opinion is really interesting, and I'm gonna have to look into this a bit more, because my initial reaction is like, why couldn't that hand sanitizer just go to any other company to be able to bottle? Is it really cheaper to produce it with prison labor, and is it ethical to produce it with prison labor in this situation as compared to doing something else? So that's where I'm at with this. But yeah, no, we'll look into it a bit more. And with some of the other stuff going on, I did want to talk about the stimulus bill that's getting through, and it seems like there's so many different versions that are happening of that. It's loaded with corporate welfare. It's loaded with, with direct assistance to American citizens, to American families, and that's certainly something that's worth discussing, and whether or not, Sean, do we have you back on?
I think I'm here.
Oh, Sean, you're back on. Good.
All right.
But the big thing I want to talk about today, because this came out just today, and it's definitely worth diving into a little bit, is the number of Americans who applied for unemployment in the last week, because it is a shocking number. Huge.
The bureaucracy.
Did you see this, Sean?
You're singing my song here. It's the bureaucracy of everything, and the overwhelming numbers of people have to just be swamping the system.
Yeah. So it is a whopping 3.3 million Americans applied for unemployment this week. John, guess what the previous record was in 1 week? Guess what it was?
Oh, I don't know. A couple 100,000?
Yeah, pretty close. 695,000 in a single week in October 1982. That was the next closest record.
What the heck happened then?
It was a stock market correction and whatnot
really?
that happened.
Okay.
They ended up coming back in a couple years, but yeah, the number of unemployment claims in this case is huge. It's astounding. And I think it's worth asking. I always think about why do I want to limit government? Why does this create any bad incentives for people? But I want to think about too. It's like, okay, the government has put people in a position where they can't work, and we talked about this a lot on Tuesday. But the government's put people in a position where they can't work. They're not able to work. They're legally not allowed to do their jobs in some cases. So you're going to have this big step up in unemployment. Is this a good thing? Is this necessary? Does there need to be other ways to offer financial assistance to families? Sean, what are your thoughts?
It's a tough call. I mean, there, the libertarian in me is like saying, hey, look, the government shouldn't have to take care of you in this case. This is something you should prepare for. You know, be living a little bit poor isn't going to hurt anybody. Kind of mentality. But then the other side, I'm kind of feeling a little liberal too in the fact that like, these people, that are living paycheck to paycheck, having an interruption of their livelihood is devastating. And I know from experience and what these people must be going through, but I don't know. I'm hoping no matter what happens is that the net result is that people will become a little more humble and realize like, who your essential workers really are and, you know, to learn to appreciate the smaller things that, you take for granted, and, everyone's, doesn't care about water until their water turns brown, and that kind of philosophy, it's make you appreciate what you have right now.
No, for sure. This is definitely a time when we want to think about what we have. We want to appreciate what we have, and yeah, for a lot of families, they're hurting right now. And again, it's something we talked about on Tuesday. It's like this is causing some real suffering for people, and maybe it's really necessary to save a lot of lives, and maybe it is necessary to stop the spread of the virus and to keep the economic health of the country going long term. Because if you have a sickness rampaging through the population, that's not great for the economy or people's ability to earn a living either. But I think this is going to have to be an ongoing discussion, too, of like what is, with all these people out of work, how are we going to be able to sustain the systems that we've built, some of which are running with massive amounts of deficits year over year from, or long-term structural issues that if there's a shock to the system like this where people aren't contributing revenue to those property taxes, those sales taxes, or income taxes, like what happens then if we're kind of running on the edge now and all that money is gone and we're spending more? What happens? What do we do next? It's a fair question, and to be honest, I don't have all the answers to that. It's something that I'm trying to think through myself because my only I can do like the I told you so thing, right? Like, oh my goodness, why didn't we fix our financial issues before? We're $23 trillion in debt. We're adding $6 trillion more to that. How could this happen? How did we let it get to the point where we are running so irresponsibly? So that when a crisis does come, it's a lot more expensive and it's a lot more precarious to be taking these sort of drastic actions.
I don't know. I mean, could you imagine running a business like this? I mean, you just keep going to the bank and just hitting them up for more money, and it's like, wait, no, you cannot keep doing this.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what's happening. So I want to talk, after we get through the next break, I want to talk about like again what this bill going through Congress looks like, because there's some individual cash assistance. It looks like $1,200 per person and $500 per child. It's going to be coming the next few weeks. Apparently they're getting more efficient where they don't have to send a check now and they're able to just do direct deposit. So that's kind of neat. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about all the good or bad, we'll talk about that too in the back on the
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center. For tonight, mostly cloudy. Could be a stray shower. Temps in the upper 30s on Friday. Morning clouds, maybe a sprinkle, then some sunshine in the afternoon. Much cooler day with a wind out of the north.
You have 5 minutes if you want to try that switch over.
Increasing clouds, temps near 50. Most of the day dry, but rain will arrive towards the evening and at night. Plan on windy with showery weather Sunday and warmer. in the 60s. I'm Rich Cornelia, WYSL.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Tom Hamilton here, president of Hamilton Wealth Management. Let's talk about investment fees and commissions. Just how much are you paying to have your investments managed? If you're like most people, you really don't know the cost, right? Does this make any sense? Paying for something without knowing how much? Okay, maybe your advisor is a friend and even sends you a birthday card every year, but what real value is he providing and at what cost? Isn't that a fair question to ask? For a $2 million account with annual fees and commissions totaling 2.5%, you're paying $50,000 per year. That's a lot of money. Are you receiving that level of value? If you have over $250,000, I will personally review your investments, including an analysis of the actual costs. To schedule your no-cost review, call our Pittsford office at 381-9870 or contact us from our website, hamiltonwealthmanagement.com. That's hamiltonwealthmanagement.com.
Advisory services offered through Wealth Plan Partners. Securities offered through Securities America, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Wealth Plan Partners, Hamilton Wealth Management, and Securities America are separate entities.
Every business wants employees who are committed to getting the job done. I'm Steve Tasker, and you should know that hiring people who have disabilities is a great way to reach a largely untapped pool of skilled job seekers. The benefits of expanding your recruitment efforts can include attracting right fit talent, learning how to meet your customers' unique needs, and improving your staff's morale. Hear from this employer.
I'm Drew Hazelton, president of Hazelton Auto Mall in Fairport. We've partnered with Employment Alliance to hire Chris, who has provided quality work in our showroom for 4 years. When Chris started, the Employment Alliance worked with us to ensure Chris's success on the job. They also provided diversity training to our staff, which not only helped our work relationship with Chris, but with our customers as well.
Working with the Employment Alliance helps you to find talent to meet your business needs. You're also offering people with disabilities meaningful work, and you're showing the community how you value equal opportunity and diversity. The Employment Alliance is part of Heritage Christian Services. For more information, visit hcsemploymentalliance.org.
It's springtime. Get ready for warm weather and sunshine. Looking to enhance your home or yard with quality Amish-built storage, buildings, or furniture? Springwater Amish Workshop has gliders, rockers, picnic tables, lighthouses, swings, carports, and so much more. The furniture and buildings are lovely, the craftsmanship's unmatched, and the prices are the lowest in the area. Springwater Amish Workshop, Route 15, Springwater. We're closed due to the coronavirus, but we're not going away. You can contact Springwater Amish Workshop through www.springwateramishworkshop.com. Email amishworkshop@frontier.com, Facebook, or call 585-669-9710.
Were you able to switch over, Kevin?
Student success is at the center of everything we do. And that's one of the reasons that we switched to Tompkins Bank of Cast Isle. They're stable, consistent.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Next time I'll make sure to have that. I knew Andrew did that, but I couldn't remember if you did. So, like I said, I was more concerned with getting him connected. So,
and we're proud that some of our alumni.
So, Sean, what happened? Did your browser freeze?
Cast Isle and Tompkins Insurance Agencies.
Converted. We were talking, and then the break came to an end, and then it just dropped.
Friday and Saturday, 6 to 8
and
p.m.
then
View the
once I
menu online,
rebooted the clean feed, it came right back.
Advance orders preferred, email or call.
All right, coming back.
243-3640.
You're listening to Radio Free New York.
Back to Radio Free New York. Thanks again for listening with us today. We have Kevin Wilson in hosting. That's me. And then we have Sean Phelan, Agent of Chaos.
Hey.
Hey. All right, good. You're still with us.
Yep, still here.
All right. We
Kind of like a bad rash, a little red, little irritating. Never know when I'm coming back.
You certainly paint a picture, buddy. Thanks for all that. We all appreciate it.
Yeah.
So this legislation that passed, I've heard different numbers between $2 trillion and $6 trillion. It's quite a bit of money. And I'll read off what the direct payments to American citizens are. Excuse me. I know, that was super smooth.
Professional radio.
Yeah, right. So there's going to be one-time direct payments up to $1,200 for individuals and $2,400 for couples and $500 for every child. That's going to be based on the 2019 tax returns if you have filled them out, or the 2018 tax returns if you hadn't done that yet. And it's going to start phasing out above $75,000 for individuals and $150,000 for couples. And then going away completely at $99,000 and $198,000. There was a thing for people who hadn't filed tax returns before, but it looks like everyone's getting one now. They're going to boost unemployment insurance $600 per week for up to 4 months on top of what you normally receive. And then it also expands eligibility for some self-employed people and independent contractors, which is good. I've been in a position where I'm self-employed, and the unemployment thing kind of gets funny when you're operating your own business and it's just you. Luckily in New York, if you're like an independent business owner and it's just you, you have an exemption from the non-essential business rule. So if you're just a single business owner that you're with no employees, you're able to continue operating in a lot of ways. But then you have $500 billion pool tax money to make loans, loan guarantees, investments in businesses, and states and municipalities damaged by the crisis. So that's what we were talking about with running very close to the line with state and local governments and businesses too. These are loans and grants to keep the lights on, basically, to keep people from going into default. And the hope is that process keeps a cascade effect from happening, right? And I don't know if we talked about this on this show, but what could happen, what people worry could happen, is that if one business decides that it can't pay its bills, they don't pay their rent. That landlord, because they don't have that rent income, they can't pay their mortgage. They can't pay their mortgage. That means the bank doesn't have money there. The bank is in trouble, and they have to legally keep a certain amount of money. And we talked about this with Alex Merced the other day. They have to legally keep a certain amount of money in the bank. If they're not getting that income in, then they're in trouble. The bank's in danger of not being able to operate successfully anymore, and on and on. And the economic system that we have is so complex and oftentimes filled with bad incentives that we kind of overinflate the risk. Well, we take on more risk than maybe what is appropriate under normal market conditions, and it makes that cascade effect all the more devastating. And so that's what the government is now desperately trying to prevent here. And you're seeing that in the forms of, what you might call corporate welfare, because you have, $25 billion in grants to airlines to keep those going, $4 billion in cargo carriers that are going to be used to pay employee wages and salaries and benefits and whatnot. And then another several $billion, $25 billion for airlines and $4 billion for loans and loan guarantees. So again, they can get that operating capital to stay alive. There's $117 billion being put into hospitals, which to me that kind of makes more sense. Another $16 billion into national stockpile of pharmaceutical and medical supplies. I don't know, Sean, doesn't that make sense to you? Like I would think that would be like the thing. That'd be the first thing. Like, oh man, we need ventilators. Let's get a bunch of government contracts out to start ordering ventilators right now, and the market's going to catch up to that. When factories you have to be shut for other reasons are like, oh, you mean we could stay open and keep our employees if we produce ventilators? Why not? Sean, what do you think?
I think you can't do it until you, as a government official, figure out a way to get a kickback and make some money off of it.
Oh goodness, Sean, you're so cynical.
I'm so truthful.
So cynical. See, in this situation, I think like under normal condition. Well, all right, I shouldn't say that. I'm looking at this bill. And I'm saying like how much stuff is in here, and like how much stuff. I'm like, man, why didn't they just? They could have passed a clean bill that like, all right, here's money for families, and here's how it's gonna work. Go. They could have just done it. Instead, they got all this other stuff in there, and I would be willing to listen to arguments that this other stuff is important, that the keeping the airline industry alive, or keeping logistics and shipping industries alive is important, or keeping banks open is important, right? Like, but again, we're doing that because we built a system that builds too much risk. But like the most direct assistance I would say is like step one, assistance for people who are going to meet immediate financial needs as a result of government action. And then step two is like, okay, how do we solve the underlying problem? You solve the underlying problem by getting ventilators in place. You solve the underlying problem by getting PPE orders, personal protective equipment orders. Yeah, I mean, we just we got to do that type of stuff. Let's see,
This just goes to show you the lack of organization, the lack of infrastructure that was set up. Obviously, whatever plan that the government had set up is an abysmal failure.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna find out certainly. We hope not. And I do want we got a comment in from Garrett too. It says we ran into an issue with a flavor supplier for seltzers we're making at the brewery being shut down. So it's a small problem, but it's gonna have a cascading effect in terms of layoffs. And again, that's what we see with a lot of these things. It's not one thing. It's like, okay, I can't get the supply here, I can't get the supply there. The person I'm selling it to can't stay open, and then suddenly like the whole system grinds to a halt. And again,
right.
That's why, I mean, that's why like Congress is panicking and trying to get this stuff in.
I also think that like the mother, what is it they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. So like, for example, Garrett's situation where they don't have the flavors, suppliers, then maybe somebody might be more creative and say, hey, maybe we should try this flavor, or maybe we should try that flavor, or I don't know. I like the human in the what's the word I'm looking for? The imagination, the ingenuity to go out and find a solution to a problem that's new.
Yeah, well, there certainly is going to be some of that. Actually, small side note, small squirrel moment here. In Spain, where they prohibit people from going outside without a reason, you're allowed to walk your dog. So what people have been doing is they've been paying people with dogs to go and walk their dog so they can spend some time outside.
Yeah. Rent a dog.
Yeah, market always finds a way, I guess, right? That's
right.
I thought that was one of the it's a terrible thing, but it's one of the funnier side effects. Is like, all right, they're paying dog owners now just so someone can spend a few minutes outside. It's sad and ingenious and interesting to find out. Like, all right, how do people, whenever you put these government restrictions in place, market forces end up leaking out of that anyway, and you get some weird stuff to come out of it.
Is that your phone ringing? Is that your wife calling from Lollipop Farms?
No. No. She's everyone's working from home, John.
Well, no, I just meant as far as it being a good idea to maybe get the pets, over there adopted. If you rent them out for a walk,
they adopted all of them. Oh, well, most of them, I'll say.
Really?
There's still some that are being medically held and whatnot, and still some being turned in, but they got a waiting list. It's a great thing. No, so that's a beautiful.
Oh, wow.
The nice things coming out is that they cleared out the shelter. It's a great thing to see, and I'm close to that situation. It's something, an organization I care a lot about. I don't talk about it on the show a lot, but I care a lot about Lollipop Farm, and yeah, it was awesome to see that they cleared out the shelter. No cats, no dogs in there, and I'm hoping other shelters are in similar situations too, because it's tough to staff those if you're having social distancing, even if they are an essential business. The issue is still, you got to have people in there, and you don't want your employees sick. So they got them out, so there's at least less pressure on that system to need to have on-site staffing for that stuff.
Right. I just saw two things.
My little plug for that.
Okay.
All right, and we'll talk about the rest of the bill and what else it means and get to some of your comments after this, too. So thanks again for listening to Radio Free New York. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Aircraft Environmental Systems proudly supports Radio Free New York. Rochester-based leaders in climate simulation chambers for America's R&D laboratories. We're experts in troubleshooting, calibrations, custom designs, and consulting for more than 40 years. Industry pioneers, we created the first ever fleet of temperature, humidity, and altitude test chambers available to rent coast to coast. Trained and trusted by environmental chamber manufacturers, we are ACES. Find us at acesinc.com.
Human trafficking is when someone is being forced, tricked, or coerced to engage in a sex trade or forced labor. If you're a kid and forced to sell sex, drugs, or work against your will, that's trafficking. You're not a criminal, and there is help available. Call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 888-373-7888 or text Be Free. Sponsored by the Livingston County Safe Harbors Human Trafficking Task Force.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Radio Free New York.
All right, y'all, welcome back. Welcome to Radio Free New York. Thanks again for listening today. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host for today, and we have Sean Phelan, Agent of Chaos, not in studio. He's at his home.
In the Hive.
In the Hive? Is that
In
what
the
we're
Hive.
calling it?
The Liberty Hive.
We gotta think of a cool nickname for your space here.
The Liberty Cave.
The Liberty Cave. Yeah, all right. Wait, did we call my attic that? I forget. No, what do we? No, we just call it the Liberty Attic.
That's Liberty Attic.
Yeah, so I'll probably get back up to broadcasting up there. I think the acoustics are a bit better, but it's because I'm working in an office with a bunch of hard surfaces right now. But I got wired internet, so we don't cut out and lose sound quality that way.
Right.
But we've had some great comments come in. So you know we had a couple comments from Garrett. Says FDA and feds failed big time on testing. Yeah, man, they sure did. We talked about that a bit on Tuesday. It's a total mess there. They dropped the ball big time on testing, and you know, as we're seeing stuff kind of change in this environment, you know, hopefully some of these restrictions that the FDA puts on testing, at least in emergency situations, my goodness, like getting those tests out. We had a working test from the World Health Organization, from these other places. We had private laboratories who were willing and able to do these tests, and the FDA is shutting it down, and they are still shutting down home testing. So Garrett, thank you for that comment. And he goes on to say, when the dust settles, we need to push hard on separation of health and state. Amen, man.
Oh yeah.
Sean, you had something on that?
No, that's a great statement. I love the way Garrett put that. It just, we need a separation of health and state, and we really do.
Yeah. And Nonconformist Farmer says, sad but ingenious is right. People will always find a way to do what they want, always. And I think he's referencing, or he or she is referencing the situation with the dog walking in Spain. Yeah, no, the markets find a way. If there's a demand for something, there's usually willing buyers and sellers in this case. That demand for they just need some outside time. That's you develop markets around it.
I'm just curious how weed dealers are doing right now.
I imagine they're probably operating fine, right?
Well, everyone's kind of sitting at home doing nothing, so I'm figuring
they're doing better.
Yeah, they're probably doing really well.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I don't know.
No, you don't know, and I don't know either. Of course not.
Yeah, right. And I if anyone could make an anonymous comment on that, I'd be curious to hear what you think. I don't want you to out yourself, but I'm wondering if the black market in some of these areas are doing well. So it looks like we're not going to have legal marijuana for a while. But I did see in Colorado, marijuana dispensaries are considered an essential business apparently, and I'm hoping that's not fake news because I saw an article on that and I got to fact check it. I may be fake news Fridaying myself tomorrow if I'm wrong about that. But I mean, liquor stores are an essential business, so why not marijuana dispensaries?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a couple of the other stuff that came through there, it bans company from the stimulus bill bans companies from taking the government loans and buying back stock until a year after the loan's paid back. Bars employees or executives who make $425,000 last year from getting a raise. I guess if you're getting government assistance, you can't do that. It doesn't say if you accept government assistance, but I'm hoping that's the case. They didn't just cap salaries, which would be something. I mean, probably not a good time to give yourself a raise right now, but nonetheless, not great. And then it does also stop Donald Trump and his family members' businesses from receiving emergency taxpayer relief, and it applies to the vice president, heads of executive departments, and members of Congress and their family members. So they do not get it, apparently.
They don't need it.
No, they don't. No, they shouldn't. I'm totally fine with means testing a lot of this stuff, and yeah, they can't benefit from any of these relief programs. So. On that front, not to say that your accusation may not have some truth to it, but there are some provisions to try to limit that, and I want to be careful about making an accusation like they're trying to benefit themselves from this. I think a lot of this bill is, I mean,
they always.
I want to throw out something out there that's not truthful,
No, the Trump family is always looking to make a profit at any cost, at any way, shape, or form that they can make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man. If you see something specific that comes up, you let me know. And I know, we're not going to get into it now, but if you see something specific from this bill, and it's hey, look, this is how Donald Trump's family or a member of Congress's family is profiting off of this crisis, in a way that's shady or possibly illegal, we're definitely going to talk about that stuff because that's definitely a massive problem in government. There's corruption for sure that it exists at various levels, and trying to shine light on that and stomp out that corruption is important. But I don't want to make an accusation without, in a general sense, without having something specific to lean on.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel that if Trump was really, really interested in helping the people and doing the right job, he would have opened up his hotels to be hospital wards.
No, that's a fair question. John, tweet at him. Make it happen. I mean, because there are a lot of hotels that are being turned into that, the hospital or quarantine areas. That's
exactly
a lot.
Exactly.
So not necessarily someone who needs medical care, but someone who is I have come into contact with someone who has coronavirus and they don't want to be near their family or don't want to be near their friends or they're in an apartment building or whatever it is. So that's something that's cropping up in a bunch of different places.
That's a character measurement for me of all people. When you are personally invested into the situation, then you're really involved. But if you're not personally putting your own money or your own time or whatever skill set that you have, and you're not applying it to the solution, then I just don't see you really involved with solving the problem.
Yeah, that's fair enough, and it's certainly and I've talked about this before. Like there's an opportunity here for libertarians, voluntarists, and other small government folks to shine and to say like, what can we do to help, and how can we do it without the government mandating it from us? So yeah, it's definitely worth asking, worth exploring, and worth doing. If you're in a position to help, go do it. And we're seeing that all over the place. I know, like the Bill's Honest Bagulas just donated a bunch of money to help with buying medical supplies and whatnot. And so Josh Allen, I've been paying so much more attention to football news lately because I'm like, all right, something that's not politics or virus related, so I'm watching the draft stuff. So I've been getting a lot of that, but it's nice to see that and to see various people from that franchise supporting the community.
2 minutes.
Yeah. And one last thing I do want to mention as part of stimulus bill is to suspend federal student loan payments through September 30th with no accrual of interest on these loans. So you could stop paying your student loans, basically on the forbearance, but not take any penalty for that. And I think that covers the main items on there. There's a bunch of other, like, it's 880 pages long, folks.
That's crazy.
It's a very, very long bill. I will post the text of the bill, at least the latest one that I have, in the chat if you're listening to us online. But yeah, it's a lot to go through. I'm reading a highlighted list from CNBC and Reason. So that's what I'm looking at. And I want to make sure you guys are looking at the same stuff I am. And if you see anything inaccurate in there, call me out on it. This is, best thing we could do is, again, try to share information best we can, try to evaluate it best we can, and so we can start to roll back government as soon as the crisis is over. Because holy cow, government is growing a lot in this period, and there's, I said, in every crisis there's an element of danger and opportunity, and I definitely see opportunities for rolling back government and the FDA and other stuff. But in a few things, we're in dangerous turf. So we need to have our wits about us and start to think about, how can we make sure that government's not overstepping its bounds, not just in the emergency, but in afterwards, and it doesn't keep these powers in perpetuity.
In the meantime, watch the movie V for Vendetta.
All right, there you go. All right, so thanks again for joining us here on Radio Free New York. We appreciate you listening here today. We will be back tomorrow with some Fake News Friday. Andrew and I should be back hosting the show tomorrow, and we'll talk to you then.